Hey there, my name is Augie.
As you can see, this is Augie, my puppet, and what is it?
I thought I was your friend.
Oh, Augie, you are my friend, okay? We're just introducing this latest fan review today, okay? So it's not, we're just introducing you to our viewers.
Oh, okay.
So guys, this is Augie, and today I thought I might, before I start doing my latest review to all of you, I might talk to you guys about this new awesome puppet site I know of called Pubbets, and which is designed puppets resembling a little bit like Jim Henson's puppets from, from Sesame Street and The Muppet Show and other shows that you may have been familiar with, obviously. And so of course, they didn't design Augie here. They recommended a guy named Rodel Salac, I hope I said his name right, to design Augie, obviously. What is it wrong? What's wrong now, Augie?
I thought I was born here.
Oh, Augie, you are born here. You are a precious puppet that you have a very good life force, and you are really an inspiration to us all in the puppet world.
Really?
Yes, you are, Augie. You are very inspirational. And guys, in the next couple of weeks or months, I'm not sure, Augie is going to start her own puppet priority series where she is going to be the main star.
Really?
Yes, you are. Alright guys, let's just get into this video, and I hope you guys be sure to support my friend Rodel and the Pubbets website. So if you want to look for a puppet that you want to have on your own videos, or if you want to do for special stage productions, be sure to check them out and let us know in the comments what you guys think of their puppet stuff. Alright, let's begin today's segment, shall we?
Yes.
Welcome to FanGirl Review, everyone, and as you can see, Augie's just taking a brief nap. So today we are going to review the musical Mean Girls, and as you may not be aware of, that the movies that we grown accustomed over the years have somehow turned into musicals and movies, as well as a lot of other things along the way. So an example I would like to put to you guys would be the following movies that went on to become musicals, ones that you may have seen that became cult classics and gone on to bigger and better things. One I may name is Pretty Woman, and The Heathers, and Matilda, Rodel's book that went to a movie and then went on to becoming a musical. And let me see, what else? Oh, and of course Mean Girls, and Legally Blonde, and in surprise fact, as you may not know this, guys, that Evil Dead was made into a musical too. So far, what are my thoughts about this musical? You may ask. Well, I don't like it. I'm sorry, that's my opinion, and therefore I'm sticking to it, sadly enough, guys. So anyway, so the musical is really, I have a lot of issues with it, obviously, where like the parts where the Mean Girls dress alike identically and all that stuff, but in this one they don't seem to dress identical. Regina, the lead mean girl in that musical, she's always wearing pants or short or jeans or even sweatpants, obviously, which is the whole story line in the original movie that was done in 2004 was that they all had to dress alike, like twins or triplets or something. Anyway, and it's quite different from the original 2004 movie and the 2011 movie, which came out years later, obviously, and was considered a flop according to reviewers, obviously. But I think it's an okay movie, and it was great to see that in the musical they brought back some original faces to brighten up the movie, obviously. So anyway, let's get into this movie, shall we? So the story begins with Janice and Damien telling the story about high school and all that stuff. And then we meet Cady, who's a girl who's living in Kenya, in Africa. And she wishes to go off to high school to try to immerse herself into high school life. Of course, her mother announces to her during a song that she accepted a role at in America and so she applies for the job and she gets it, obviously. And Cady is so excited that she's going to go to live in America. Unlike in the end 2004 one, which she was not too thrilled by this idea of leaving the life at Kenya, Africa, and merging herself into the real world. Anyway, we get a lot of dance numbers, and the dances it does take away a lot of the story plot to this movie, where it's all exciting and it just does tell you different things about the story plot, obviously. Anyway, Cady has a hard time fitting in, as it were, and soon enough, when she gets to the cafeteria, everyone is in groups, cliques, and stuff, and none of them want to include Cady in their group, of course. So she gets approached by Janice and Damien, and they tell her about the cliques and stuff, and tell her which is your people, if you can find a people, if you mind, obviously. So she asks Janice if she could possibly stay at their table during cafeteria scene, and they're okay for it and say, yeah, sure, you can go to our table, no issues, no problems, no buts about it. Anyway, so soon enough, we get a rumbling sound and we see who walks in. None other than Regina George, who is the most very vivacious looking woman or teen, considering she looks like she's 27. I mean, the old Regina, she looks like a teenager, hands down, period. Everyone in the old 2004 looked like teenagers. Here, the kids look a little teeny weeny bit older, and it shows in their faces a lot that they do not look like teenagers. That's my other issue about this movie, obviously, that everyone doesn't even look the age they ought to be in this movie. Anyway, so Regina walks in, sings about how powerful she is, how beautiful she is, how much money she's got, and she approaches her clique, Gretchen and Karen, who are two minions who dress like her, supposedly, but of course, as I said before, she's wearing the leather jacket and wearing the pants in this group, and the two girls are wearing mini skirts and, tops, obviously, and flashy tops, obviously. Anyway, they invite Cady to their group, and they offer her to have lunch with them every day for the rest of the week. That sounds good for Cady, but we're wrong. We find out that Cady is going to find that these girls are not all they seem. And of course, Janice is all for it. She says, I want you to do exactly what they want so we can make fun of them and hopefully maybe be able to, get some enjoyment out of it, obviously. There's also a little bit of social media influence in this one, where you're going to see, unlike in the 2004 one, which they didn't really focus on social media stuff back then because it was not out until it made a very good debut years later, obviously. Anyway, so we then see Well, then she meets Aaron. I mean, the cute guy, who's a really cute kid, who's really attractive, obviously. And so anyway, she's really taken by him. And of course, he's in a math class, and she doesn't know how to talk to him, obviously. So she tries to make up an excuse about trying to behave dumb, obviously, which kind of works for a little while, obviously. Anyway, so soon enough, when we then get a bit more of a story about the school, obviously, and how the school seems to coexist with, Cady's life in Africa, and how the Queen Bee is the leader of the pack, the lioness or the lion in the group, obviously, and her minions are like the hyenas who follow behind her, and whenever she moves in for the kill on a new animal, they would be the hyenas who will rip apart the remains, obviously. Anyway, if you watch Lion King, you understand. Or not. Anyway, so later on, Halloween arrives, and everyone's so happy about Halloween. Everyone is dressed up. Everyone is so pumped that Halloween's approaching and all that stuff. And soon enough, but Cady doesn't get the memo, according to the story, that she has to dress sexy on Halloween. So she ends up dressing in a wedding gown costume, and all the girls approach her and say, "Why are you dressed so scary?" And she's like, "It's Halloween. Well, no big deal." But they explain to her that Halloween is the only time of the year you get to dress sexy appropriate. Of course, Cady never did get that memo, according to her. Then Aaron approaches her and offers her a drink, and he meets up with Regina, and Regina starts dancing and singing very sexily, and soon enough she draws Aiden to her with her sex appeal, and soon enough they're kissing. This upsets Cady, and she heads back to Janice, who's watching the exact same movie that her counterpart in that 2004 watched, called Halloween 2000, that was done in 1978, obviously, version. Anyway, soon enough, when they see her enter, they scream, "Ah!" sort of thing, and Cady tells the big bad news that Aaron is taking an interest in Regina, and they decide to cook up a plan to try to make Regina the most unpopular person out there, obviously. They say this in an interesting story where they try to make out that they'll make a unpopular party. They call it a revenge party song, obviously, where Regina goes on about how she'll bring the balloons, that Damien will bring the fun party favors, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And then we soon they get to their first prank where they wet Regina at I guess one of those football things, and it turned out made her more popular. Brought back the old wet look, obviously, and so they had to think of another plan, hopefully to crack Gretchen, to hopefully find any dirty secrets that might be turned in their advantage. So when Christmas comes around, dear old Cady comes up with a plan of sending out free candies for herself and for Regina and for Cady, Karen. And of course, she writes on them saying, they're all from Regina, obviously. Of course, Gretchen gets wind of this and she spills her guts. No pun intended, which she did. And soon enough, they come up with a good enough secret that turns out to be that Regina is cheating on Aaron with another boy, obviously. So in this case, she actually records it on her phone, Cady does, and tells it to her friends and tells it to Aaron. And of course, Aaron eventually goes to the secret place where Regina is making out with this boy, and soon enough, he breaks up with her. And of course, instead of coming to Cady's arms like Cady fantasizes, he walks away, meaning he's more upset and a little heartbroken, which is all sad. Then later on, Cady approaches Regina with some counting bars that will make you gain weight instead of lose it. Regina wants to lose weight so she can fit into her spring fling dress, obviously. So, and the girl so desperately wants to get dropped down a couple of pounds, obviously. So anyway, she asks Cady to bring in a box or two, or three, or four, which she does. And while this is happening, soon enough the talent competition, and you see that she has gained a lot of weight. And they're going to do this song that originally was called Jingle Bell Rock, but this one is called Jingle Round the Pole. It doesn't sound really appropriate when I think about this. So they begin the dance number, and of course, I should mention that Damien sings an interesting song. In the original 2001, Damien sings I Am Beautiful, that song back in 2004, that was very popular back then. But in this one, he sings a song that's totally in French, and I don't think anyone could understand it. I don't think I could understand. Anyway, there's also a song that one of the mathlete guys, who was also coaxing Cady to become a mathlete person, also sings a number that is very similar to the movie, obviously. And of course, in this one, alright, so anyway, Cady Regina gets embarrassed because she falls and everyone sees her trip up during the dance number. And of course, everyone on social media goes on a binge to tell the entire world about how Regina fell on her ass. Well, literally, yes. And they even also spout how Cady is very attractive, very popular, very confident dancer, and start warming up to her. And soon enough, the spring fling votes come in, obviously, all the plastics, they get voted in, obviously. And Cady gets voted in, because she's starting to be more noticed and more liked, obviously. And soon enough, Cady starts, of course, Janice suggests that she stop, the whole thing now that things with Regina are escalating, that no longer that anyone thinks Regina is popular anymore. She's starting to gain weight. She's totally got, she's practically wearing sweatpants at the cafeteria, and everyone is noticing how much weight she's gained. Anyway, so the girls end up telling her that since she broke the rules of wearing of the dress code, her dress code, that she wasn't allowed to sit with them at lunch, and the girls all agree. And soon after, Regina walks out the room, and then later on, Janice tells her that it's time to quit. Now that things are escalating, she doesn't have to worry about her 8-year-old revenge against Regina. I should mention in this one that Janice's revenge is quite different from the 2004 one, where it makes out that Regina spread a rumor about Janice being a lesbian, obviously. And in this one, she pretty much flaunts her lesbianism in this one, obviously. It's quite different from the old one, which kind of makes out that don't believe rumors, but people often do believe rumors, obviously. Anyway, the creators in this one, they kind of decided to make her a lesbian that's in the closet, obviously, in this one, obviously. And so I won't go into that one, obviously, I won't dive into that fishbowl. So anyway, the rest of the cliques ask Cady what they're going to do next. And of course Cady says that she's going to this thing with her mum, but they tell her to, get out of it. And she begs her mum that she doesn't want to go to this thing, and brings up Janice's art show, which she wasn't going to make plans to go, but decided not to, obviously. So she breaks that promise of going to it, and soon enough, Cady invites Aaron to this private party she's organizing. And unfortunately, it's not a private party anymore because the entire school hears about it, and they come, obviously. And soon enough, they were breaking things. They even broke one of her mother's precious vases that she probably got from Kenya. And soon enough, she meets Aaron in her room, and there they talk about her time in Africa, and she starts telling him about how she is good at math, but he's a bad teacher. And so she tells him that she's failing, and isn't it funny? Not really. According to Aiden here, he thinks that that's very stupid, and that she's starting to act like a clone to Regina. He then leaves, and then Janice and Amy arrive, and they tell her that she's being an unfaithful friend, and that what she's doing is just terrible. Even though it was Janice's idea to make her hang out with the plastics. Of course, Janice tells her that what she's doing is mean, nasty, and she should just stop. And of course, she then throws the art project that she worked on, and which was a portrait of her and Damien and Cady. And Cady realizes that she's messed up big time. Then later on, we see Regina at home, who finds out from her mother that the canteen bars are not diet bars, but actually bars that make you gain weight, obviously. And soon enough, she is pissed, obviously. And so she decides to create her own revenge by, taking her photo off the wall, cutting it up, and then sticking it to the burn book that she has in this movie, obviously. And here she writes herself in the book by calling her a fugly slut, obviously. And then she leaves it, inside the high school. There, students start seeing the book, snapping photos of it, sharing the information that's inside that book, and soon enough this information is spread viral, causing a mass issues between all the students and all their friends, and all of them are starting to, going crazy. And soon enough, the principal gets wind of it, and the only students that faces are not in that book are Regina, Karen, and Cady. And of course, they're in big trouble, obviously. Anyway, soon enough, mass hysteria hits, and Regina's getting what she wants. She wants the school to burn. This is what she does. She gets what she wants, and soon enough, the principal calls all the girls to the gymnasium and to discuss what happened. And of course, he tells them that he asks Miss Norbury, a nice math teacher, to sit the girls down and discuss what's what, obviously. And of course she approaches Karen and Cady, and asks her who wrote the book. And Cady says that she doesn't know and refuses to tell. And of course, Miss Norbury's a little disappointed in her. Anyway, she then decides to get the girls to write apologies and to the group, or to the girls that they hurt. And of course, it does go really smoothly, and then when it's Janice's turn, she says she reveals things that they did to Regina, and of course she goes on her own singing thing, and we kind of lose track of what's going to happen in this scene, obviously, where we watch Janice throughout this going on about women should be this, women should be not that, blah blah blah. Anyway, we soon get outside of the gym and we see Cady and Regina arguing, which is getting up to the bit that was in the 2004 one where the girls that Cady is trying to apologize to Regina, but Regina doesn't want to hear about it, saying that she sees her as a less hot version of herself, and she wants her fake apology to be thrown back in her face, obviously. But we don't even hear this conversation because it's covered with Janice's ongoing song, obviously. Anyway, then soon enough Regina gets run over by the bus that's well known in this movie, and soon enough Regina doesn't die like the 2004 movie. She didn't die then, but she did die in this one, obviously. And then Regina does get her spine damaged, obviously, and Cady is approached by her mother asking her what's wrong, obviously, and she's been suspended for 3 days, obviously. Of course, when Cady gets back to school, she's still not being talked to by her friends, and she then does finally tell the principal that she wrote the thing about Miss Norbury being a drug pusher, obviously, which was mostly revealed in this movie and in 2004 ones, obviously. Anyway, so she decides to make amends with everyone, including Miss Norbury. Miss Norbury especially, because she deserves the most, apologizing to, because she was accused of something that she didn't actually do, obviously. So anyway, she asks her to take part in this special math tournament, which requires all the brightest students to take part in a math quiz, which does go well. She actually answers all the questions, and while this is happening, this is taking place during the the spring fling, obviously. And there, so she answered all the questions. Also, I should mention, the original Cady, who's an actress, is in this scene where she's all grown up, obviously. Anyway, so the old Cady answers the question, last one, which is the limit that does not exist, obviously. And soon enough, the group go off to the spring fling, thingy-wing, or whatever. And there, Cady meets Regina in the bathroom, where she finally says her apologies. And Regina accepts, despite the fact she's heavily medicated and probably doesn't want to check a wobbly, especially with a back brace and all that stuff. So anyway, then the big announcement arrives, where they announce the king and queen of the spring fling. So of course Cady wins spring fling queen, obviously, and goes up on stage, where as she's looking at the crown, she snaps it into pieces and gives each girl a piece of the crown, indicating that everyone is beautiful and that this crown is just not really diamonds or rubies or anything like that. So she manages to get conveyed that everyone's pretty. Then she meets up with Janice and Damien, and they make their apologies. And then we see Cady dancing with Aaron, and they kiss. Then we watch as Janice and Damien, as they walk away, talk about it to the camera, as in a formal kind of way, telling the audience about that calling someone stupid or dumb is not right and stuff like that. And all you have to do is learn to handle this sort of thing, and never to piss off the queen bee, obviously. So the group is lives happily ever after, and that's the end of Mean Girls, obviously. Anyways, then soon enough, as they're dancing. Now, my thoughts about this movie, obviously. So, my thoughts. I don't really like it. I don't really like the songs, and I don't like the fact that it kind of drowns out the actual plot to the actual story. And I liked the original 2004 one a lot because it managed to convey the story and make out the girls do look like they're young, obviously, or teenagers. Even though most of them in the original were in their 20s, but they managed to maintain a little bit of their a little teenage look to them, obviously. Like the youngest, who was Cady, whose character, who was actually in reality would have been at the year about 18 when she did the movie. Anyway. So, I'm going to give this movie a low grading on it, sadly, guys. I'm sorry, I can't make this any higher. So, I'm going to give it 3 stars out of 5. That's my lowest number on it. So, that's my opinion about this movie. So, again, I wish I could make it higher, but I'm sad to say I just didn't like the movie, obviously. I did want to end this video without Auli'i, so I thought I might say, guys, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and let me know in the comments what you guys think of this movie, and let me know in the comments which other musical movies you like, obviously. So this is Sarah and Auli'i, and we will see you guys next time. I just so you guys know, Auli'i's going to make her own movies very soon, so I'll let you know when they're coming out very soon. Okay, so let's say goodbye, Auli'i.
Bye all.
Alright, thanks everyone. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.